Right, good afternoon ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's Thursday afternoon, the 4th of April. I'm just doing this short video, hopefully it's a short video, just to let you know what progress I've made regards setting up a better filter system and better aeration for my pond. Because obviously I've said I'm going to increase the number of fish I've got. I've also been tidying up since the fence was done. I've been tidying up on the back and right down the garden to the patio area. So we're looking a lot tidier. Hopefully you'll find this a bit interesting because I know some of you have seen the video with a similar filter system which Brazil Koi did. What I've done so far, I've cleaned out behind the filter system what is there, just to show you the room I've got. We've had a bit of a change of plan. That's the drainage system down at the bottom end there from the overflow, which has always been in. It's just a little pipe tucked away behind there. It's worked all right for the last 30 years, so I can't see why I should do anything more with it. Basically what I've decided to do, instead of putting the pressure filter down the bottom, I'm going to move this one down there because it's got a UV in the back. I'm going to move that down there to that side of the pond. If we put it at the bottom there, we think if we sat on the patio area it's going to look a bit of a mess. So we've decided that what we're going to do, we're going to pop it somewhere there and let it feed in. And I've got another pump which I'll put in that corner where I'll feed it, and I'm going to push water from that pump as well along the pond as I normally do, because we have a automatic feeder which we put in that corner as well, and it'll help push the water away, push the food away, so it generates more movement in the pond. This was tucked under that little tub there at the minute is an air pump that I've bought, which I have had in, but if you look at the pond as it is, you can see where the clover leaves, what I shown in my last video, has devastated this bit, and there is muck in the bottom of the pond which I've got to clean out. But the fish don't seem to mind, they seem to be happy enough. But this area here, if the sun gets on it, the fish pile into this corner. They use it as a bit of a sun trap, and it's looking, well, it looks like they really enjoy being there, so I'm not going to try and get rid of any more of the algae that's in the pond. I'm just going to clean it out. I ought to really buy a pond vac, but I've never had one, so I can't see why I should buy one now. Right, I'll show you what I've got. I bought these boxes. I actually bought 3 of them. They're the one boxes from Alfred's. They're £10 each. They're strong, you're supposed to be able to stand on them. I've got this one ready. This is going to be the top one. As you can see, I put a spray bar in. I can remove that without causing myself too much trouble, because I've got it as close as I could to the top. Even though there's a ridge there, I wanted to be able to move this out if I needed to. Bought this matting from Derbyshire Koi. They'd got a piece that had been cut down, and there's a mesh in the bottom, plastic mesh in the bottom, where I'm going to put my, I think it's called Alpha Grog. I'm going to put that in and let it flow through there. And then in this one I've got a choice really, because I have got some more matting. I'm going to have enough Alpha Grog, and the plastic meshing in the bottom of there, the piece I've got is enough to put another piece in there, and with that being the bottom one, I've just got to fit 2 outlets to it, and I might fit another drain to it. Also, this is the UV I bought last year for the bottom of the pond, because the large pressure filter hasn't got one in there anymore. So I bought it so I could attach it up to the bottom of the pond. This here looks a bit of, this is some piping I bought, and this is a union for in this. Now this piece here fitted to, let me get this right, fitted to that pressure filter. If you see the length of it, and then it's got a little T-joint on the bottom, and there's this one here as well. This one will fit in here to, it's the waste, that's the waste outlet on that, and I'm going to have the other pressure filter, this one here, I'm going to have that one in there and the big one, and then the pipe will run from the waste will run from there along the back of the shower unit I'm going to put in, and then it'll all couple in and then take it away down the waste. Hopefully that'll work. I'm assuming it will, I can't see why it shouldn't, but it's been a bit of a ball ache trying to get it to see it if everything will fit in there. But I think having the extra UV, I'll make a framework up and I'll fit the UV on the framework behind here. Then I can feed the pressure filters into it, and then into the shower unit where I'm going to build. I'm also thinking of putting a batten across the back of there, and I've got an old plastic picnic table which I can cut down and put in there to cover everything up, including my air pump, which I'll move to this end. I'll cover everything up there so it's not going to get wet through all the time, and then I'll put a bit of astroturf on it to make it look a bit better. But I must admit, having heard everybody with all the problems they're having with flukes and everything like that, I don't seem to be having that sort of problem, and it's got to be luck. I don't mix and match, I don't go to anybody else's pond and touch the water or take any fish out or anything like that. The only place I've been is to see Andy at Derby Koi, but I didn't get my hands in the water, I didn't do anything. Well, I could actually pollute his water if you like, so I don't know. As some people will say I'm lucky, some people will say, well, he don't know what he's doing anyway, so it don't really matter. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to whip you up to the front garden and show you the little pond that I've got set up there. If you've seen my last video, you know where it was before. It was a raised bed, but I'll just put you on pause and whip to the front garden. Right, here we go. There's the pond as it is now. Obviously I've made that little filter just to try and get the water running through. What I did do, I got a piece of the foam from out the box filter and put it in there, because that had got some bacteria in it. But I know it don't look like it's going to hold 10 fish, but there will be a very small fish, and in the past it's had up to 12 or 14 in, with shabunkins and norths and a couple of koi in it at one time. But obviously as it got bigger I had to move them on. But there is a chance I'll lift that probably 2 blocks higher. Whether it'll be this year or not, I don't know. But obviously there's a chance I can do that. Garden's starting to come on really well. It's looking nice. But hopefully I shall have some fish in that in a fortnight's time. I'll check the water before I put them in, and before I go down and buy them. But I am looking forward to seeing if I can grow some fish to a reasonable size. After that I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I've said to my wife I'm going to have to buy a ready built container, tank, or whatever you'd like to call it. But if I'm going to keep them, I'm not sure I will keep them, but they won't end up in the other pond because they're not the Japanese koi. The size they are, I'm assuming, I don't know for sure, I'm assuming that they couldn't get down that small from Japan because they wouldn't travel. But you'll see that when I actually get to them. Just whip round to the back again. Here we go. I was talking to, well, I made a comment on Davy's Black Country Boys when he lost his fish. Well, he had to cull them actually, but I don't want to go down that route. But we did talk about all the problems people are having and that fish don't seem as strong. But we spoke, I've heard people say that carp, they make their own way. I think mine do in here, to be fair, because I haven't had any airballs or anything in this for years, which I've said before. And you can see, I don't know whether you can see the muck in the bottom of the pond, but the water's clear. But at the end of the day, I think the fish adapt. Even though they design a fish, they've adapted to this environment, and that is why I said in the previous video I'm a bit worried about keep getting it as clean as I will be doing and putting air balls in, but I've got to do it if I'm going to get some more fish. I can't leave the filtration and the air situation as it was. I do expect that I will lose some fish this year because the age of them, but they're still looking well, and I've moved on no end because when I started this on the 15th of February I was asking everybody about the varieties of fish, and there was a guy who I've watched a few times. He's just come back and started doing more videos, WKP, Wayne I think his name is. He didn't get my name right when he mentioned me, but WKP, he'd got a fish and he didn't know what sort it was. So in my wisdom I decided I'd try and help him, and I did name the fish and say if it had got no scales it were a Deutsch, one of those. And Vince confirmed to him that it was what I said. I think it was a Kikashui, but yeah, I was quite proud of myself. I've actually got something right. Anyway, for the gardeners, just to show you how we're going on with this, I'll just show you the difference between what it looked like without the fence, and now we can crack on how much better it looks. But the onion sets which have come through now, which the pigeons will leave alone, I've just covered with this net just in case they decide they're going to have a go. And just under that there's beetroot now, where I've taken out of the greenhouse. I'll put that in today. I understand we're going to get 18 degrees, but we're going to get a few high winds tomorrow. Everything else is just as it was pretty much, except for the potatoes that are out here that are coming through again. So I've got to lift the side of the bags and put a bit more compost in. The strawberries I've tidied up. Normally, well, I did that about a fortnight ago I think. I don't think I mentioned it on last video, but you normally take the brown leaves off. I normally put a bit more fresh compost in, and just there some French radish which I only put in last week, so they're flying. As you can see here, I've got some compost, but I've also got some boarding. Now there is a reason for that, because all this got smashed. And this skid mark down this door here is where, when I was up the steps at the end of January, the ladder slipped. Even though I'd been up once and I'd got it blocked off at the bottom, the ladder slipped. And I came down 15 stone, belly flop, flat on the ladder. That's why I probably ended up doing these videos, because I could hardly walk and granddaughter came round, as I've said before. and we started once I could walk again on the 14th of February. So we'll go in here. I have had some of this veg off, but as you can see there, the mixed lettuce, that's when you can start picking it now. If you pick it earlier than that, I always find it, if you rinse it, it feels a little bit slimy. But these still going quite well. A few things here, cucumbers, peppers, the flowers are still in, don't know when I'm going to put them out. Put some more cucumbers in because I had a disaster with the slugs. And this is the micro veg, as they call it, which I need to be picking some off, which I'll do for this weekend. The spring onions have come through, they've started to fly, and the mange 2, which was in the little pods, I've now moved into there. The lettuce is still in, that'll be in for another 3 weeks, and then I'll take that out and plant some fresh. These cucumbers, I realised that yes, I had slugs on them, but also the water had stayed in the tray and I didn't realise they were getting waterlogged. That's why they've gone yellow. But this one, if you see, it's trying to go again, so whether that'll survive or not, I don't know. But we all make mistakes. Well, I found that out when I fell off a ladder, but there we go. These, the one little tomato, it was on its own, the gardener's delight, but we saw 3 or 4 times there, none of others came. That's there now. At that height, that's doing really well, and that's another one from same batch, but the rest are still upstairs in the bedroom window ledge. I've got broccoli growing, 2 different types of broccoli. These are about the same as before, the chives, the carrots. But today, as I say, I took the beetroot out, and what happens with beetroot, these are all singular, but I've done that because very often a beetroot seed will grow 2 or 3 plants off it, the bigger ones, and a lot of people just let them grow and then pick the weakest out. Well, I don't like doing that. It might be tight, but I like to see if they're growing, give them a chance. So what I do, I'd take the bigger ones out and then repot the little ones. Tomatoes, and there's obviously there's some different lettuces in there which grow to like an iceberg type. And these taters were here a few weeks ago. There was nothing coming through. Now they're starting to come through. So pretty much the same as it was before, but we are moving along, and as long as you look after them properly, you can get away with that. And I don't know when I actually do the bottom box whether I should put some of that foam in. If I put alpha grog in and I put a mesh down in the bottom again, very similar to that one, whether I should put some of that foam in. I'm not sure whether I should do that or not on top of the alpha grog, but I'm sure when you're commenting you'll be able to give me an idea. But hopefully next time you see this, that'll be in the back there. This will be gone to the side of the pond and that, and the shower unit will be up there, fed by both pressure filters. So it's been a bit hit and miss because I've been rushing about like an idiot because it's wife's birthday tomorrow, Saturday, and it was mine yesterday. So on Saturday I'll become a toy boy again. I was 68 yesterday, and my wife is 69 on Saturday. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you can see where I'm coming from, and if you think I'm doing something wrong, please let me know. But I really do want some more fish in there, and I did say 6 originally, but I think now I might only have 3. But with them in the front and these here, I think I'll have enough on my hands, and with the garden as well, and my golfing. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please comment, because I do like to read them. I don't always get back that, but that's because I'm useless. So enjoy your weekend, and I think we're going partying, so see you soon. Bye.